888-728-9941. This is Clean and Sober Radio.
Hey, you can always enjoy this show. I mean, wherever you are. But right on the radio, we're on WWDB in Philadelphia. We're on WPEN 97.5 in Philly, GAC in Augusta, Georgia, WJBR in Tampa, Florida, among others. We're all over the East Coast.
Spreading around the world.
Spreading around the world.
Let it shine for you.
Gary Lewis, welcome to Clean and Sober Radio.
Always good to be on the show with you again.
Gary, so let me tell you, in the studio, it's me, obviously. It's Mark, my co-host.
Hi, Gary.
And Brad,
Hi,
who is our cameraman, tech guy, know-it-all, but he really does, okay?
Okay.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Feels like we haven't spoken in probably 2 days.
I know. And isn't it funny that you're the best friend I never met?
That's exactly correct. That's how I feel about you. Hey, let's first start off with big, giant congratulations to you. 22 years in recovery on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, May 20th. Yeah, 22 years.
That's great news.
Yeah, that is, God, Garrett, I mean, it's just...
Oh, man, I know, and I can't help but think 22 years ago I was saying to myself, geez, what the heck do I have to do to get sober?
Were you really thinking that you wanted to?
Oh, I knew that drinking was getting in the way of things,
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I used to go on stage to get it over with rather than going on because I enjoy it.
Interesting. That's it.
Yeah,
It makes a lot of
really.
sense.
And,
Yeah, it makes a lot of
I knew that
sense.
was all wrong, It was all wrong. And I had no idea what to do to begin the process of not drinking. So since I couldn't figure it out, I just went and had another drink.
That was the vicious cycle of this addiction, wasn't it?
It sure was. I mean, it just happened over and over and over. I felt like a yo-yo, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, I know.
Just constantly, yeah.
Okay.
But the greatest thing in the world is that I don't mind going through that because of where I am now and how I feel.
Well, that's right. I mean, look, for Mark and myself and you, Gary, the end of the story is a good one. So we can look back and say, that path took me to where I am. But, unfortunately, a lot of folks never made it,
Oh, I know that. That is the truth, I mean, people can go to AA for a long time. Maybe I knew of a couple of people that went there for like 2 years, and they just couldn't pick it up.
Yeah,
Could not get it.
I know.
So they disappeared, never to see again.
All right, let's do this. Let's go back to the 70s when you were born, okay? And
70?
Yeah, I know. So, all right. So, Gary, you were supposed to be called Carrie, like Cary Grant, weren't you? And there was a mix-up from a clerical error when you were born, and you became Gary, which it's very easy. That C can become a G real easy.
Well, yeah. My mom was a big fan of Cary Grant too.
Right.
and I'm sure my dad had something to do with there being a clerical error.
Ooh.
I know that. But, I'm glad because I don't think I would have liked that name. Carrie is a good name for a girl.
Exactly. Gary, you have the greatest first name that was available.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Funny.
That's it. All right, so look. So your dad was Jerry Lewis. Let's get that whole thing going.
Right.
And your mom at the time, Patty Palmer,
right.
She was a performer, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was the girl singer for the Jimmy Dorsey Orchestra.
Wow. So
and that's how my mom and dad met. They were playing at a club that my dad was bussing tables at.
he was bussing tables.
That's exactly what he was doing when he met my mom. He was
Okay.
in this club bussing tables.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it just blossomed after that, and then 1945 came along, and here I was.
Well, let me tell you something. You look damn good. You really do. And I'll tell you something, guy. Your voice is still awesome.
Well, sobriety and quitting smoking, that has a lot to do with it also,
Yeah.
And plus I'm healthy now. I mean, I just went to 2 different doctors last week, and they look at me when I tell them how old I am, and they say, "My gosh, you're totally healthy. All my labs came back good. They stay good."
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm powerful again, and I sing all my songs in the original keys too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I never had to lower a key ever.
Do they
Wow.
do that a lot? Like as you get older, if you're a lead singer, do they do that a lot where they start lowering the keys and stuff?
We'll have
for
to
your
change
voice?
the keys, like Frankie Valli. I'm sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always sing along with the Beatles, in the car on the radio, and then this McCartney tune came on where he was doing Sgt. Pepper, and I started singing along with him, and I said, "Wow, that's awfully low."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know McCartney was having trouble with his throat and stuff like
Yes.
that. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's too bad. I mean, I'm sorry about that, But
I got to tell you something, guys, here at the table. Gary and I we've been communicating with each other for probably 3 years for sure. And
Yeah.
we've never met each other.
I
And that's
know.
a weird thing.
And you've been on the show quite
This
a
is
few
Gary's
times.
3rd or 4th time on
Yes.
the show. And we
Always great.
And I keep saying, when am I going to meet you? When are you going to be near Philadelphia? When? I'm gonna
Well,
tell you-
you know what? I just decided to get an additional agency. I just got with them, and because you got to light a fire under this agent of mine.
Right.
You got to do something. So anyway, it just hasn't been happening. So I got another agent. So I got to pay another 10%. Big deal.
Right.
I don't care because right when I said yes to these guys, they put me on a tour with the Lovin' Spoonful and Terry Sylvester of the Hollies.
Okay.
And they got 4 or 5 dates already. And
Good.
this was just last week. So they're based out of New Jersey. So I bet you
Yep.
I might get there.
You're getting there. We can't wait. I just can't. Gary, I know, of course, what you look like. Do you know what I look like? Because I might sneak up on you.
Well, yeah, I've seen. Where have I seen pictures of you?
Post office.
Yeah, right. Well, I think I've seen you. Clean and Sober Radio. You got to have a picture up, right? Uh-oh.
Well, I hear you now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Isn't there a picture on Clean and Sober Radio?
Yes, there is.
Well, okay, then I've seen it.
That's it. So, Gar, like many addicts, we're a product of where we come from, man. You know that. How did your upbringing in that famous, well-known, wealthy family, how did that make who you were through your addiction, and how has that transformed into who you are today?
Yeah, well, I can never be upset with the fact that I had a rotten childhood. My dad. I'm not trying to bash him or anything.
I know.
I'm just telling the truth. I'm big on the truth all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Well, not all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. And not 100%, like all of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he was a very mean person, you know. He was like an egomaniac and a narcissist, and you know, it was just he didn't care about anybody but himself. You know, that's why he had no friends.
Right.
You know, and that's what we had to live with. We grew up with fear and panic in the family, and thank God for my mom, because she wasn't much of a buffer, but she did her best, and thank God that she was the way she was, because she instilled all the good stuff for us in us.
You told me one time that when your dad was on his way home, your mother would either tell all the boys to get in their room or line up or something because,
Yeah.
and then you didn't know which Jerry Lewis was coming through the door.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when he came home, he was always mad that he had to come home and he couldn't go out with his girlfriends.
Right, right.
You know, now that's a fact.
Right.
That is a fact. That's not a lie. So, you know, whatever happened to him to make him that way must have been horrific.
That's right. I mean, you know, we all are a product, and we just hope that we cannot carry on the negative crap that our parents gave us to our kids.
Exactly right. And then in '64, I got the band together, and our first 7 records all went top 10. And for the next 2 years, I was just, I mean, big, you know, real big, playing the concert halls and everything like that. And then I got drafted.
Yeah.
And when I came out of the service, the music industry changed so radically from what I was doing to Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, the Doors, and all that. And my producer told me, "Hey, you know, music changed so much. There's no more market for you anymore."
Let's go. Let me jump back a little bit. So you received a set of drums as a gift for your 15th birthday in 1960.
Right.
And you formed a band, Gary and the Playboys, not Gary Lewis. You didn't use your last
correct.
name. And the name that I either you told me or somebody told me, the name Playboys it was referred to your band because they were always late to practice, and so
That's right.
they were referred
That's
to.
right.
You know, you guys are Playboys. You know,
Yeah, where you Playboys been?
right. And then at a certain point, you were introduced to Snuff Garrett.
Right.
And he was your neighbor. Am I correct?
Yes, he
And
was.
he
He
heard-
lived just around the corner.
He heard you play and immediately thought, you guys are great, but why don't we use the name Lewis? It'll really help this thing along. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, my mom said, since you're doing all these auditions, you know, you want to know for a fact that you guys are good.
Yeah.
So don't use your last name, and so you don't have to worry about favoritism or anything like that. See if you can do it on your own. So, okay, we did. And then when This Diamond Ring came out and went to number 1 in the country, my mom says, okay, now you can put Lewis in.
You earned it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I got to tell you something about your music, and Mark sitting next to me is a young boy. I mean, when I say young, he's about 50 years old. So, Gary, one time I asked him could he name the Beatles, and he couldn't name them all, but he's got it down now. Okay.
He's roasting me, and he said you were born in the 70s. I was born in the 70s, so we're very close in age, Gary.
No, Gary was not born.
I know.
I know. But Gary, can I just tell you something? That period of time, 65, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Your music was so influential to so many people, and for me, I can absolutely remember riding my bicycle to, I'm not going to mention her name, her house, and listening to your music. And it was also the time, the years before all hell broke loose in my life with the narcotics.
Yep.
You know?
I know. So the shift of being on top,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden my producer says, well, there's no more market for you. So I'm thinking to myself, can you can you maybe invent something?
Right. Right.
I mean, don't just tell me bye-bye.
Right. Right.
Which is what he did.
That must have been. Oh my God.
That was the total escalation of all drugs and alcohol.
Do you think addiction, Gary, in children of celebrity parents, and I don't mean just celebrity being on TV or radio, but I mean, very rich, famous people. Do you think celebrity was a cause of addiction in a lot of kids, in a lot of families like yours?
Oh, most definitely. I'm sure of it, because... if they grow up and a parent is very famous, they got to be thinking to themselves, listen, what should I do? Just go in show business and try to do the same thing? Well, that way everybody's going to lean back and fold their arms and say, well, let's see if you're as good as your parent.
Right.
You'll never have an identity of your own if you do that.
Right, absolutely.
Even though it's been successful for a few people,
Sure. Hey, I'm going to say to you, audience, if you're just joining us now, if you're just listening, if you want to watch us, go to Clean and Sober Radio to our page. Clean and Sober Broadcasting to our page. What is the page?
Clean and Sober Broadcasting.
I forget.
Wait.
Radio. It's radio.
Is it?
You know what? Just find it. Oh, go to Facebook, Clean and Sober Radio. Facebook, Clean and Sober. But I screwed that up. And you can watch us. And also, this is a great opportunity to actually talk to Gary Lewis, in my eyes, one of the greatest groups of all time. 1-888-728-9941. That's 1-888-728-9941. Give us a call, and you can have the absolute great opportunity asking Gary any single thing you'd like to. And again, for people who are watching, I just want to mention a couple people. There's a long list of people watching, but let me just go through the list here real quick. Kathy Wolf Collins is watching from Coral Springs, Florida. Mike Burke. James Bilderback from Ventnor, New Jersey. Enjoying the broadcast. Always a great show. Linda Carroll. Let's see. Mike Brill. Happy Friday, gentlemen. Mike Tomlinson. Good afternoon to my two favorite guys. Judge Christopher Maddox from Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania is watching, one of our two favorite judges.
Oh, yeah.
Gary, we have two favorite judges around here, and he's one of them. Colleen McCullough says, I met Gary Lewis years ago in the Villages in Florida. What a wonderful person. I'm sure you remember her, right, Gary? Gary, do you remember her?
Looks like we got
him now.
Okay.
We got him now.
Oh, okay.
Gary, did you hear that? Colleen McCullough from the Villages said she met you years ago. You were a wonderful person.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I love playing the Villages.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Good. So there's just a couple people. And what we're going to do right now, Gary, we're going to take our first break, and then we're coming back. And don't you move, all right?
I won't move.
We'll be right back. Okay.
This is Clean and Sober Radio.
A cancer diagnosis can knock the wind out of you. The Sidney Kimmel Cancer Center at Abington Jefferson Health can help. Our brand new Asplund Cancer Pavilion brings you 86,000 square feet of cancer-fighting science for truly comprehensive care. Backed by the strength of an NCI-designated cancer center. Call 1-800-JEFF now. The Sidney Kimmel Cancer Center at Abington Jefferson Health. The power to out-science cancer.
Hey everybody, this is Tommy James, and you're listening to Clean and Sober Radio, and so am I.
888-728-9941. This is Clean and Sober Radio.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're here with Gary Lewis from Gary Lewis and the Playboys. You know, Gary, I actually hate to keep saying Gary Lewis and the Playboys because you are Gary Lewis and the Playboys. And,
yeah. I actually outlived all the Playboys, too.
Are they all gone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
From what kind of stuff? Drugs? I mean...
No. Just various things. One was an airline pilot, and he had an accident, went down. and then 2 others just died from old age. I'm saying old age, but I'm going to be 80 in July.
80 is the new 100. It is. No.
Yeah. but so anyway, I'm still doing it, and as long as I'm still in the band, everything is cool.
Absolutely. So here, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
If you wrote a letter today to your father,
yeah,
what would you say to him? I have often wondered what I would say to my own father today on all the stuff that I thought he should have known better about.
Yeah.
But, people say to me, this doesn't really mean much to me, your father did the best that he could. Well, that's all good, but it's not good enough, at least in my case.
No, that's how I feel, too. I feel, too. I still have a problem forgiving him because he was so mean about everything. He was so mean. If I had to write him a letter, I would say, I hope you're in heaven because up there you've got to be a nice guy.
Right.
I'm saying it'll be great to see you.
It's a tough thing. The perception, I think, of the public is, oh, my God, Gary Lewis, he grew up so privileged. Everything must have been so great. They had no problems. They had all the money in the world. They were famous.
Well, see, that's the thing. It was all...
Yeah.
I mean, the money, that we had that, and we had a big house, and I had cars, and all that stuff. But where was that love that you hear about or see on Ozzie and Harriet?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what the perception must have been of people who were either not in the business, didn't know your father or whatever, that you were like Leave It to Beaver,
Yeah, and a very hard thing for me is that when I'm signing autographs after a show, people are coming up to me and saying, "Oh, your father was such a nice man.
Right.
Look what he did for muscular dystrophy, and he cared for those kids and this and that." So instead of getting into it, I just say thank you very much.
Absolutely, that's all you can say.
And that's it. I'm not going to try to explain. No, he wasn't nice,
Right.
That'd be just stupid,
So was he in competition with you when you started to be the famous one?
Well, that's the feeling I got because every time I came out with another hit record, he didn't even mention like, hey, that's great, that's 4 in a row, or that's 7 in a row, or, my mom was doing handsprings.
Right.
She was so happy for me.
Right.
But he never even mentioned it, and I don't know. I don't know, So I always came to the conclusion that there was a competition thing there. And how could that be? We don't do the same thing.
Exactly. Did your dad ever tell you, I love you, Gary?
Yeah, I didn't believe it, though.
Yeah. It was
I really didn't. I really didn't. You know why? Because he would always say that to me and my brothers when there was a crowd of people over at the house.
I see.
He was trying to show that I'm going to show them I'm a loving father.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't buy it. I just didn't buy it,
Melissa G. from Woodstock, New York writes to us. We get emails during the week.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I am a 65-plus-year-old woman and wanted Gary to know that the Playboys were one of my favorite bands. Congratulations on 22 years.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Thanks.
Hey, did you ever get the thing from me, by the way, in the mail or what?
Oh,
check your mail today, Gary.
Okay, I will.
Check your mail.
I will. Yeah, and I'll let you know right when I do.
Yeah. You know what Gary told me this week on the phone?
What?
Our magnetic sticker that say Clean and Sober Radio on the back of his car.
That is so cool. And
right on the back of the car so everybody can see it.
There you go.
And Gary,
I love it. And when it fades out or wears out, I got an extra one.
Oh, good.
that's awesome.
Yeah, because I sent him 40 of them.
He's got. You know, the last time you were on the show, I just remember fascinating. One aspect of this is that when you were a young kid, your dad, you know, Jerry Lewis, the comedian, would have these big parties, and you would have, I mean, some of the names that you rattled off of people that would be at your house. Who were some of the people that used to come over to the house, and what was that like, these parties?
Yeah, well, it was all the old time comedians like Milton Berle, Jack Benny, Henny Youngman.
Take my wife, please.
Yeah, right. And to get that many comedians in the same place, the volume level gets almost to where you can't stand it because they're all trying to outdo each other.
Oh my. Was it funny? I mean, I would imagine there's so many comedians. It had to be funny, you know?
Yeah, you know, they were all comedians, you know, and the one guy that didn't seem to be very interested in getting into the stories and everything was George Burns, because he was just sitting there smoking a cigar and whatever the hell went on, okay, fine.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Hey, if you're listening to us right now and you think you have a problem with alcohol, drugs, or a loved one, please call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Hotline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-HELP, and you will get help. Hey, we're talking to Gary Lewis. As usual, it's fantastic, and maybe one day, as I said to Gary this week, will I actually ever see you in the flesh?
Well, you will. You will. I mean, if this new agency is in New Jersey, and they've been booking real good for us already. So I'm sure that they'll get us closer.
Gary, Mark B. from Philadelphia writes, "Hey, Gary, this is to you, Gary. When will you be performing in the Philadelphia area? Last time I saw the Playboys were on Steel Pier in Atlantic City, probably 1966-ish.
Yeah, we played there in 65 and 66. That was wonderful. And it's almost just a shame to see Atlantic City like it is now.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
It's just pitiful.
I want to run down your hits. Let's talk about your hits.
Okay.
And I'd also like to talk about, I was amazed to learn that the Wrecking Crew, which was, for our listeners, the Wrecking Crew was sort of like the Funk Brothers on the West Coast. It was a group of incredible musicians who played for many of the top artists. So you would come in as Joe, Glenn, I don't know, any group, Sonny and Cher, blah, 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 blah. And they would play.
Right.
They would play. And Hal Blaine, he was a drummer, right, Gar?
Yeah.
And your real trade is a drummer, isn't it?
Right. I played on all the basic tracks. The only time we used any of the Wrecking Crew was on solos.
I see.
Because, we were young. What did I know about solos?
Right. Do you still when you have time, do you still play the drums at home?
Oh, no, I can't. I try, but I can't do it anymore because my hands hurt.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I even had to quit playing guitar because my hands would cramp up and they just hurt, so I gotta just be the singer, because that's what I do the best, and I pray that never wears out,
Well, absolutely. So when Mr. Garrett got a hold of you, he at first he didn't think you were a great drummer, and he had Buddy Rich tutoring you.
Oh no, Buddy Rich was giving me lessons. But that was real early in my life.
Right, early. Yeah, I know that when you were a young teenager.
My dad had a set of drums, and when I was 5 years old, I used to go out there and just bang on them. I didn't know what I was doing. And this friend of my dad's always used to come over and say, hey kid, let's go out to the drums. Let me show you some stuff. And for 7 years that happened until I found out he was Buddy Rich.
Oh my God, that's fabulous. So what was it, Gary? What was it like when Diamond Ring came out?
Yeah.
Okay, number one. Where were you? You were before. This is before the service, obviously.
Oh yeah.
What was it like? Were your friends jealous of you? Were you able to get a lot of girlfriends because of your fame? I mean, you must have been. I mean,
well, I'll tell you about the girls. I didn't have to go out looking.
That's right. I used to use your last name. I used to say I'm Gary Lewis. I got so many girls, it wasn't even funny.
Would they just like show up at your door, basically?
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yes.
Like every day you'd have these.
And the tour managers used to tell us, don't divulge the name of the hotel when you're on stage.
Right.
It didn't matter.
Wow.
They all knew already.
Well, you wanted them to know, didn't you?
Sure.
Were there some nights where you're just like, I want nothing to do with these women and I just want to go home and go to sleep? Did you get to that point?
Yeah, but it was just one of those things. I said, well, this is the job, I'm going to have to put up with this.
It sounds very torturous.
Yeah, when was the first time you had a drink?
18 years old in Binghamton, New York.
You were a late bloomer, weren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, we were playing a show, and I found out, hey, in New York, you can drink at 18. Well, I was 18, so I had a Bloody Mary.
Wow.
Oh, Bloody Mary.
Wow.
And that was I didn't get drunk. I just drank that one, but it was kind of, I remember it was fun. It was fun doing what I never did,
Of course. And, And so, how did it escalate?
Well, it escalated right after the service. I came back. I was 23.
Right.
And there was no job for me anymore.
Oh God, that must have been. But your mom, I know you told me your mom was very supportive. I know that.
All the way. And she used to tell me, I pray for you every day. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Mom, because, I wondered when I was going to ever come out of that, if I was going to come out at all, but I sure did. I mean, God takes care of, who he loves.
That's right.
And he loves me, and he loves everybody. If you're trying to live the right way, mm-hmm. then he's going to take care of you.
So
and he did in 1984. That's when I started playing again. This agency said, "Hey man, the '60s are coming back," and I said, "Who the hell is this?"
Was it hard? I mean, I know you got sober in 2003, or I can't even do the math. Was it hard for you to get back on stage sober?
No, I didn't have any problem with that. I was so thankful that I'm in this program. I know it's hard, and I used to tell myself, is there a timeline when it gets better? I used to say.
Right.
But I asked somebody in AA, and all they did was laugh,
Yeah.
Is there a time limit? No, there's no time limit.
Yeah, it's because people like us, we want immediate results, don't we?
That's exactly it.
We want to know the timeline. We want to know what to expect.
Yeah.
No surprises.
Oh, man, I forgot what the original question was.
I did too, to tell you the truth.
Oh, okay, but I do just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
For people who are getting sober or who are thinking about it, things didn't start coming around for me and my brain until 6 years after I went into AA. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the big message from my group was, don't give up.
Yeah. Right.
Just don't give up. And God says that same thing to us. don't give up.
Right.
You know, it's going to get better. And that's what they tell you all the time. You know, keep coming back. It gets better.
And that is absolutely true, isn't it?
Yes.
God, we are
It
lucky,
is.
man. I mean, Mark and I talk. You know, Mark has 20. How many 20 years you got?
23.
You got 23.
Yeah.
You're
All right.
There you go.
From alcohol, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And you, Gary, you know, I got 43, but we're
43.
just
43,
You
old
must have
timer.
started. Did you stop drinking when Lincoln was president?
no, it was not Lincoln. It was Harrison. And nobody knows who that is anyway. Actually,
right.
Can I tell you something? I got sober under Ronald Reagan.
That's the 80s.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I love people that have a lot of time. You know, it's always beneficial to talk to them anyway.
I know. I got to tell you, I got to bring up a song that. First of all, I'm going to run through these songs. This
Okay.
Diamond Ring.
Yeah.
Count Me In. Save
Right.
Your Heart for Me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody Loves a Clown. Just My
Yes.
Style. Sure Gonna Miss Her. Green Grass. I mean, you're a major star, Gary Lewis. You know that? and I got to tell you something. Your song, Everybody Loves a Clown, always hit me really hard because I was the clown.
Yeah.
And the joke was on me.
You know that song. When I started writing that song, I was going to just write a couple of verses and make it like a little novelty number, and I was going to give it to my dad for his birthday in 1965.
Right.
But as the tune started to progress, I liked it more and more, and I love the words that myself and Leon Russell came up with for it.
Leon Russell,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and so I ended up keeping the song and putting it out, and I gave my dad a real nice card.
Oh, I got it. Listen, it sounds, your father and my father, they come from a different place. A lot of similarities, man. And that stuff you really have to work on, or it'll haunt you the rest of your life. I mean, we can talk about it, and that's fine in perspective, but, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to talk about it anymore.
Not at all.
And you know
Not
what
at all.
I really liked, when I heard you earlier explain it, I think the last time you were on the show, you explained it this way. You said, well, my dad, I don't know what happened to him, really, that led to this. And it was kind of like, I think you said that the last time, is that you're trying to change your perspective a little bit on it. Like maybe he went through a ton of stuff that led to this. And I thought we talked about maybe he had bipolar or something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of mental health issue.
Well, he never talked about anything.
Yeah.
His whole life was a secret. I never knew anything about his life. Young life, middle life, nothing.
Did you know your grandparents?
Yeah, I knew my grandparents, and I liked them. But my dad hated them.
There you go. Yeah. You also said, Gary, that your dad he liked amphetamines.
Oh, God, among other things.
Yeah. And you used to take them from him, didn't you?
Yeah. When I was doing drugs, I used to steal them out of my dad's medicine cabinet.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you.
I mean, he had a doctor in his pocket,
Of course, yeah.
And so it was all the top shelf stuff,
Yep.
And I dug it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did until I took one too many one day, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand up. I said, "Oh yeah, this is fun."
Yeah, this is fun, isn't it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's boy, we are a product of where we come from, aren't we?
I know it's not genetics like if you're raised right and then you'll continue on to be good too. No, it's environment.
Absolutely.
Environment.
Absolutely. Gary, hold on. We're going to take our last break. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back with Gary Lewis.
This is Clean and Sober Radio.
A cancer diagnosis can knock the wind out of you. The Sidney Kimmel Cancer Center at Abington Jefferson Health can help. Our brand new Asplund Cancer Pavilion brings you 86,000 square feet of cancer-fighting science for truly comprehensive care. Backed by the strength of an NCI-designated cancer center. Call 1-800-JEFF now. The Sidney Kimmel Cancer Center at Abington Jefferson Health. The power to out-science cancer.
Hi, I'm Billy J. Kramer, and I listen to Clean and Sober Radio.
888-728-9941. This is Clean and Sober Radio.
And if I'm not first on your list.
Hey, we're back with
We're
Gary
back.
Lewis. God, Gary, I love your music. It takes me back to a place that, oh my God.
I know. I know. I really do.
I mean,
know?
Look, it takes you back to, you created all this stuff. So it must be, when you listen to your music now, do you feel happy or sad, or is there a mix in there?
I feel so absolutely happy and grateful.
Wow, that's a great place to be.
I feel, yes. I mean, AA gave me that gratitude again,
Yeah.
It really did. I am so grateful. I open my shades in the morning when I get up and I see the trees, and I'm grateful.
Right.
I didn't see a tree for 35 years.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny, No,
I know. That's why everybody laughs in AA,
Yeah, that's
because almost everybody has the same stories,
Same stories. It's like what do they say in that show Dragnet? Same story, different people. It's,
yeah.
Gary, is it hard for you to go to AA meetings? Do you get not harassed, but you get people coming up to you all the time?
No, it doesn't bother me one bit.
That's good, right? It feels good.
22 years, so I know them all.
Yeah.
I know them, but it took me a while before I was able to speak at a meeting,
And that's interesting. Somebody would think, my God, this is a guy who's been performing in front of tens of thousands of people, and he's reluctant to speak. But it's different. It's a small group.
Well, not because I was scared, but because I had to speak the truth, and I didn't know how to speak the truth about me and everything else around me without slamming him.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do that, but everybody was telling me, "Hey, it's your story. Tell it like you want to tell it."
Right. That's true.
And that's what I did. But I always set it up to, like what I said to you. Whatever made him that way, must have been really terrible. But I'm not going to lie or sugarcoat anything. It's not the truth.
I think a lot of a lot of people in our parents' age back then were not really fond of going into therapy or any kind of help.
Oh yeah, it would have messed their career up
if it got out, right?
Yeah,
absolutely,
it would have back then in the 50s.
Yeah, oh yeah, it would have ruined. It would have been over with.
Yeah, it would have. And now, that's not there now. If somebody wants to go into AA, you're applauded for it.
Absolutely. It's no shame. It's a strength.
So it was that bad in the 50s? Like it was
Mark,
like
people didn't go therapy. No. If you went to therapy, you were like, you could lose your job, you could lose everything.
Wow.
That's right.
There was no acceptance to that.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, because we always talk about the stigma these days, but it sounds like it was 1,000 times worse.
It was. It really was.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was absolutely.
I bet it was.
So, Gar, what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, I think I'll probably mow the lawn.
Gary,
There
I
you
can't
go.
believe you said that, because one time we spoke about 2 years ago, and I said, "What are you doing?" You said, "I'm raking the leaves." So,
Yeah. I love working outside.
Yeah.
I really do. We got 2.5 acres, so
Nice.
there's enough to mow. Cut it up over 3 days, and then when I'm done, it's time to start again.
exactly. Do you ever
I
sit down?
love it.
Do you ever sit down mower?
Yeah.
Oh God, I always wanted to ride one of those.
Oh, they're fun.
I'll be over tomorrow around noon.
Okay.
Gary, first of all, thanks so much for coming on the show again.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
And Giant, from all of us here at Clean and Sober, 22 years on Tuesday, man.
Right.
That is just big deal.
And thanks for having me on again.
Always. We'll talk soon, and
Okay.
can't wait to meet you in person.
I know. I'm working on it.
All right, that's fine. Thanks,
Okay, Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Be well.
Thanks, Gary.
Be well.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Mark.
Bye.
ya.
Bye-bye. He is just so great. You know that?
Great. And just his perspective on recovery, the gratitude, the enjoying the little things these days. And, coming from all of that, it's
Can
just
you
amazing.
imagine coming from all that? I know you were
Yeah.
bringing up when he would say that Sinatra was at his house, when Dean
Yeah.
Martin was there. What's the little guy's name with the one eye?
I have no idea.
Candyman. Oh my God.
Let's hear you sing it.
Oh my God.
Are we talking like that song? Look, like the Grateful Dead remade a song called
stop with the
Candyman.
Grateful
Okay,
Dead.
all right.
All right. Oh my God. Somebody let us know. That's a brain freeze. But so that life,
Yeah.
and for him to have such perspective on and get into recovery and clean and he's still performing. What's better?
And the trauma of having a father that was, it sounds like, emotionally abusive, maybe physically abusive, and growing up in that environment. And what an interesting thing though between him and his father being a comedian, him being a musician, and very interesting story.
It's a sad, when Gary became famous and had a lot of hit, his father couldn't say, great job, couldn't do it. Sammy Davis Jr. Thank you.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Brad
wow.
comes to the rescue. I can't believe it. I can't look.
And somebody hit it on our Facebook
did
message
they?
thing. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who said?
Ed Mary Donnelly. We should have had send her a prize for that. But Ed Mary Donnelly, Sammy Davis. But the also part I caught is, could you imagine here he is, superstar.
Yeah.
Gets drafted into, I guess it would be Vietnam?
Yes.
Or the Korean War. Or
Vietnam.
And to come back out and your agent saying, well, sorry, the style of music has changed, and you're pretty much out at that point.
Like that.
And you would think because I imagine you go through, well, I'm going to remake myself. I'm going to try to do this, and it wouldn't work.
Well, Gary, he said, I don't know if he said today, but he's told me his mom was very supportive of him. You're going to get something, you're going to do, but that's a kick in the stomach, man. You come back serving your country, and then they say you're no longer relevant.
I mean, after all that, too, like all the stars, the women, I mean, you name it, to come out and be like, it's over.
Listen, I want to mention
the thoughts of getting back to your superstar life, right?
Yeah, I have something here. Yeah, keep going. That's all right.
Yeah, it's you can see why I turn into drugs at that point, getting heavily into them. But how cool is that, too? Another 10, 15 years goes by, and they call him up, and the 60s are coming back.
Is that
I mean, yeah, he ended up getting a call and getting back into it, and then he's playing to this day.
Hey, listen, I just want to say real quick, if you're in the Philadelphia area this weekend, our Circle D Productions are hosting an American music evening at the Rotunda at University of Pennsylvania campus. The Edge Hill Road Runners and the Show Shiners will perform. A lot of groups. It's an alcohol-free event, and for more information, really you should go to this. It'll be great fun. Call Circle D Productions at 215-681-8834. That's 215-681-8834. Sounds like a fun night in an alcohol-free room. Okay. I want to thank everybody, and remember, if you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, help is absolutely out there, everybody. Call 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-HELP. For Clean and Sober Radio, I'm Gary Hendler.
I'm Mark Sigmund.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, please know that we really appreciate all the support that you give us. That's a wrap.
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves. I hope we pass the auditioning.
Hey, thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Brad, Mark, and I had a real good time doing it. Take care.